So my fellow goblins, you die a lot. Now you're looking for a cheap M4. That will make you look like a badass without spending thousands of rubles just for a weapon. Worry not, my little goblins. This Goblin King got a few nice builds for you that you'll be able to die 100 times without feeling like breaking your nuts off. So before we get started at showcasing the build, I would like to say that the builds are not the cheapest or the best. This build's meant to be cheap but still close to the meta build, and the cost can change at any time because of the player market or the game updates. Now that we got all of this out of the way, I'll be showcasing you 3 builds that I got for you. In every of the 3 builds I got, I'll be comparing them with the meta builds. So let's get started with the cheapest build I got here. At the left side of the screen there is my first build, and the price of all the builds of the weapons are below their title names, and the title meta one in middle of the screen is the build that is close to what everyone else uses in the game, and the third weapon with the title meta 2 is close to the best recoil build that's in the game for M4. We'll be mostly comparing my build with Meta 1 build title because that's the build that people use in game most of the time. As you compare my build with the Meta 1 build, you can see that the ergonomics are not really far apart. The Meta 1 build has 5 more ergonomics than the budget build, but the Meta 1 build is paying that extra money to get to the 5 more stats. As we go down to the vertical recoil stats, you can see that the Meta 1 build to the budget build stats, that the stats in the vertical recoil are a little bit far apart by 11 points, and the horizontal recoil is by 31 points. The stats are quite different, but the price of the Meta 1 build is double the price of the budget build, but the budget build is still easy to control with the stats it has. Now that we are done talking about the stats, let's talk about the weapon parts and the level of traders. You need to get the traders in certain level to get to the price of the weapon around 220,000. You need mechanic at level 3 and peacekeeper at level 4, and the last trader level 4 skiffer. When you become level 30, you should have all these traders at this level. Now that we are done talking about the traders, I will put all the weapon parts on the screen right now so you can pause the video and look what parts I use for the weapon, and the weapon parts will also be at the description of the video. Now that we are done talking about the weapon parts and the traders, we'll be testing this weapon in the shooting range. I will be testing this weapon with hip fire and the weapon scope, so let's get started. Now that we are done with the first build, let's go for the second build that I got for you. We'll be doing the same comparing method like we did with the first build. We'll be comparing Meta 1 build with my second build. As you look at my second build, you can see that the stats of the weapon makes this weapon a beast. It has 9 more ergonomics than the Meta 1 build. And if you look at the recoil stats of Meta 1 build, it only has 2 more vertical recoil and 6 more horizontal recoil than the budget build. That's not that much of a difference. The only downside to this M4 build is that it does not have a silencer, but the price and the stats are really great. Now that we are done talking about the second build stats, let's talk about the weapon parts and the level of traders you need to get to have the price of the weapon build around 285,000 rubles. As the first build, you need the same traders at the same level. You need mechanic at level 3 and peacekeeper at level 4, and the last trader skiffer at level 4. Now that we are done talking about the requirements level you need for the traders, I'll be showing you the weapon parts I use for the weapon on the screen, so you can pause the video and to see what parts I use for the weapon. Now that we are done with the weapon parts, let's bring this bad boy to the shooting range to test the weapon out. Well, that's all I got for you. I hope you got some information out of this video. I know that the video was not the best quality, but if you have any questions about the build or need any help, just leave a comment below and I'll try my best to help you out. Thank you all for watching.